Welcome, photographers. It's October 27th at noon, and this is Aperture and Shutter Speed, the photography radio show where you can learn and share your love for photography. I am your host, Chelsea Williams. I'm a professional portrait photographer. Also with me is Dick Schissler, who's the film and video enthusiast. Woo! If you have any questions and comments during this show, please comment on our Aperture and Shutter Speed Facebook page or call in 936-647-3776. Today on this show, we're going to be interviewing Regan Atkinson, who has over 40 years experience as a photographer and currently works at the Houston Camera Exchange. So if you've ever wondered what the Houston Camera Exchange can do to support you as a photographer, keep listening because we're going to find all about it. Before we get into the interview and answering everybody's questions, I did want to go over a few things that are going on locally. The Woodlands Camera Club on November 2nd has a Camera Club meeting. So if you've never been to the Woodlands Camera Club and you want to meet some fellow photographers and learn how to get involved, it's on November 2nd from 7 to 9. And if you decide you love it, on the 7th and 8th, they're doing a workshop to McKinney Falls State Park. So go to woodlandscameraclub.org to find out more all about those things. And the Woodlands Photography Club is having a club meeting on November 9th at 6:45. So if you want to know about the Woodlands Photography Club, go to woodlandsphoto.org. And I think it's a light month because that's all I got right now. So the question I always ask to anybody listening is, what pictures have you been taking lately?
And is that directed towards me?
Well, you're the only
Well, there's listeners too. 936-647-3776 is the call-in line. You can find that at the top of every webpage on irlonestar.com. 936-647-3776. Shooting. I just got back from a rainy bachelor party at a ranch. There was some good opportunities to do some, I guess they call them tractor pictures, because there's a lot of tractors and a lot of green foliage, and then a lot of people having fun. So I got some dynamics. It was not so much thunder, though. I was kind of depressed about that. It was just a bunch of rain and no thunder, because those are a lot of cool pictures you can get out in the wilderness, especially those right moments when it thunders and there's some rain in the background. Other than that, that's about it. I just took a bunch of pictures, and that was it.
Yeah. For me, my I do a lot of different things, but I also do a lot of headshots. And lately, headshots have picked up a whole lot. So I don't know if it's wrapping up the end of the year and everybody's thinking about what they want to look like the next year or whatever. But I've been doing a lot of headshots.
Well, what's funny is, there's ever a season for headshots, or is it just all year round?
It's kind of all year round, but it's interesting that kind of, sometimes a lot of companies all at once are like, oh, we need to update all of our employee headshots all at once. And I don't know what goes on there that spurs that on, because some companies just do it as new people come along, but a lot of times they'll just decide to do everybody at once. So I don't know what causes that, but
creepy.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I like it. I like doing headshots.
We are on Twitter, just to let people know, at Our Lone Star, and then on Facebook with Aperture and Shutter Speed. So just let people know if they can't call in, there's always ways to message us on Facebook. Just look up Aperture and Shutter Speed. Just want to let people know that. So.
Okay, I have to say, I know this isn't really photography related, but the Conroe Art League right around the corner?
Yes.
So I became a member of the Conroe Art League, and I did a first volunteer shift this weekend.
And
I have a picture in the gallery right now.
Because of that?
Well, because I won a ribbon at the show. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. It's kind of a neat place if anybody wants to go check it out. It's just right around the corner. And they're having a gala next month on the November 21st, so you can pick up some cool art.
Okay.
Okay. Never mind. Just me personally. Okay. So do you want to...
Do I want to what, Kelsey?
I was just gonna say, do you want to go ahead and take a little break, and then when we come back, we can talk to Regan.
Okay, let's do it. You're listening to Lone Star Internet Radio, Aperture and Shutter Speed.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas, Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and/or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympics Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
Howdy, howdy, folks. Cable Smith, host of the Lone Star Outdoors Show, inviting you to join me Saturday mornings from 7 to 8 on Lone Star Internet Radio for Texas' premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor talk show. So pour yourself another cup of coffee and pull up that stool a little closer to the old campfire, because if you can catch it or kill it in Texas, we're going to talk about it. That's right. Bucks and ducks, gobblers, monster bass, redfish, trout, and a whole lot more. Plus, you never know what outdoor celebrity is going to drop by, from Phil the Duck Commander Robertson to fishing legend Bill Dance or everybody's favorite uncle Ted Nugent. Heck, we might even mix in an interview and hear some brand spanking new Texas music from one of your favorite Texas musicians like Robert Earl Keen, Brandon Ryder, or the honky-tonk kid himself, Aaron Watson. Loved or hated but never ignored, it's the Lone Star Outdoors Show with me, Cable Smith, Saturday mornings from 7 to 8 right here on Lone Star Internet Radio on irlonestar.com.
At Jazzy Junk, volunteers reclaim, restore, and recycle. Jazzy Junk is a non-profit resale storefront where you will discover wonderful, unique finds at very affordable prices on furniture, antiques, books, art, home decor, and more. When you shop Jazzy Junk, you support New Danville, a community for adults with developmental disabilities. We receive new donations daily, so plan a visit to Jazzy Junk today to find that perfect item or gift. Our motto is here today, gone today. So remember to hurry in and shop often for the best selection. Jazzy Junk is located in the outlets at Conroe on League Line Road and I-45 North. Call 936-441-4500 or visit our website, jazzyjunk.org. That's Junque, for more information and store hours.
Welcome back to Aperture and Shutter Speed. We are on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and we're here to talk about photography. We had some technical difficulties getting Regan on the phone, So we're gonna just talk about photography because that's what we do.
Well, he's probably selling a camera.
Yeah, he does work for the Houston Camera Exchange.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you had some interesting things that you were talking about during the break.
Well, I'm an interesting guy, Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know, I really.
I think you keep up to date on things more than I do.
There's been a couple things. Two big deals, I would say, in the photo world is two huge publications have been making shifts. Playboy, who's been publishing photos for 40 years, is going to stop putting photos in their publications. Nude photos, that is. So they got completely rid of the nude world, and they're going to go full article, and I guess it's more commentary, similar to like Rolling Stones. So I think that's pretty interesting, because as a photographer, that's always a lot of people ask, oh, do you do nude photos too? Mm-hmm. To me, when I was like, I know my brother, first thing when I started taking photos, he's like, oh, do you do nude photos too? I know he's kidding around, but people say it, and people identify with the highest publications of nude photos with Playboy, and now they're gone with nude photos. So it'd be interesting to see if they're going to be more of like a Maxim magazine, or because it is photography, you like it or not, that is a world of photography, is portrait with Maxim photography, and especially in the European area, that's huge over there with nudity, because nudity is everywhere, and if you didn't know that, it's legal there to put it on newsstands and things like that.
I think that's crazy. That's what they've been known for so long, and then they've been making a move away from it. It's interesting.
Well, when it comes down to a business, pornography has been hand in hand with photography and film. And I think Playboy realized they have a brand name that has a value to it, not just like a smut name in a sense. And they wanted to keep that brand name, keep it higher than the smut stuff. And so they probably went more for the articles, and they realized with Playboy, they still have it. They still have a nude spread, but it's not Playboy anymore. It's like Playboy Girls or something like that. If you go to their website, actually we were talking about it, I went to their website, there's no nudity on their website anymore. You have to click a certain link to go into, and it says like, are you 18 and all that stuff. So to me it's pretty smart, because what it allows them to do is they have that brand name that followed what Playboy is. Everyone thinks of Playboy, think of nudie women, but now they can put their magazine on the front of the magazine stands instead of the back with some covers. So now they can do that, and now I bet you in the first 6 months, people are like, I thought this was nudie, and there's nothing in it. They're like, I'm not buying this. But I think that they're going to grab people's attention with that, and it'd be interesting to see what they do with photography, that's for sure.
Because I'm sure you can still have amazing pictures in there.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I think what they're doing is a lot of people do have claims that their articles are really well done, and I know some of the most famous magazine writers have written for them. Hunter S. Thompson's written for them. He's really well known among the magazine, like just short stories and things like that. But I'd be interested to see where they go.
So is this the first time that you've looked at their website now?
Well, no. It made me think, because when you make that declaration, they said we're not going to publish nude photos anymore, and you're talking about a company that's all they did.
Yeah. And
so the archive of all their photos, huge. And you're like, you just don't dump that. There's money to that, even though pornography is like, a couple clicks away on the internet. I think they realize that, like, there's no value in these photos anymore, because they're not bringing in or bringing in people. Because I mean, back in the day, you had how people made money in that world was you had some photos of the most hottest woman or man. They had played girl too, but other photos, how photos are sold. And I mean, like you get that one photo that no one else had. Look at People Magazine. That's how they now get their viewers, is because they paid Angelina Jolie or whatever.
There's a lot of magazines out there that their covers are, on the verge of pornographic.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I don't see how Playboy's any different, honestly.
So, and that was one, and then the second one that has happened was National Geographic. If you didn't know, in September, the National Geographic Society, which is kind of oversees all the publications of Nat Geo, National Geographic, they announced a deal with 21st Century Fox that they would move the magazine to a new partnership, basically calling National Geographic Partner, which is controlled by Century Fox. So now and if you didn't know, 21st Century Fox is owned by another group, of course. Everyone, did you know that? It's owned by News Corp. So now National Geographic is owned by a corporation. So think about that when it comes to for photos and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the world where people are seeing photos is changing the old ways. So
absolutely.
And who Rupert Murdoch owns News Corp.
Okay.
Do you know who Rupert Murdoch is?
No.
he's the mogul, the news mogul. People think he owns the news.
But it does
like
make you wonder if National Geographic will start being biased in what they print because they're now owned by a specific corporation.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I think the world of videography is completely changing when it comes to the news and telling stories, because a lot of people, especially the newspapers, aren't publishing that many graphic images anymore. You think this would be the world or the opportunity time in this world to publicize really graphic photos. Mm-hmm. But no, the real graphic stuff is now just hitting YouTube. Everyone's going to YouTube or going to different types of media markets online to get their news, and especially their extreme news. You know, there's the new documentaries are coming out now, or documentary style news, which is like Vice and Vox, and these. I don't know if you ever heard of Vice News, but they are the guys who go into Chernobyl because it's radioactive, and they want to see what's going on there, and they go there and they film it, and they take photos and all that kind of stuff. One of the most interesting ones they did is they went to North Korea and they took a lot of photos there. And just a lot of the grays and everything like that. And then another one they did is there's this new drug around. It's been around, but a new drug is being introduced. Is basically a knockout drug, and you're awake when it happens. And people have been reported like giving their money to just random people because they don't know what's happening, but they're awake. And people are like, "Have your money?" It's like, "Yeah, here you go." And worse things, of course, are happening too. But yeah, that's where the style of photography and that progressive world of photography, I think, is going towards online, especially with videographers and getting that kind of footage. Because that's one thing that always amazes me with the world of photography today, and the idea that you can upload a photo instantly. And the most recent ones are all the police deals going on. Cameras are becoming more and more of a topic, but I'm still trying to figure out why there isn't more being uploaded today than what the concept allows, because I imagine it's a lot, but I'm not seeing it, if that makes sense. Because you think like an altercation happens in a school, right? There's an altercation. Someone is locked down, horrible things happening at the school. There's probably 100 kids with phones.
Well, there was just a video that was released that was a cell phone video of a girl that was acting out in school, and the police had to come pull her out of the room, and I guess they threw her around a little bit because she was not behaving. But I think that also interferes with what they do when there's always a kid in the corner that's taking a cell phone video.
Well, it might interfere, but there's no way to block someone uploading it instantly. Right. One of my favorite options in technology is you can on iCloud now is if your phone's stolen, it uploads whatever photos you take, and that's how people can see who their thieves are, because they're taking pictures with themselves. Yep. And it's getting uploaded. And there's a lot of videos of that. You just search it. You say iPhone thief, and you'll get it, and you'll see who they are, and that's how the police know, and things like that. Even though the police don't really care probably, but that's what's kind of surprising to me right now, because those videos aren't there. But there's certain websites who will publish horrible videos, especially with ISIS. ISIS is another one. I mean, we're looking at 22nd century terrorism today, where these terrorists can upload their propaganda instantly and everyone can see it. And it's kind of insane to me that it's not leaking into the normal world yet, because that's what everyone's watching, but they don't, YouTube's not allowing it. And that's what happened with the Benzagi deal with Hillary Clinton. She just went through that 11-hour deal because the incident in Benzagi.
I don't think that's how you pronounce it.
It's not. I don't know.
Benghazi.
Sorry. Thank you. Benghazi. But no, that video was uploaded within 24 hours, and apparently that's what people were claiming at the time. This is how it happened. So photography does have an impact on this world.
Oh yeah.
And it's wonderful.
Well, I think things like that can be good and they can be bad, because I think there's a lot of stuff that.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of photography. You take the good with the bad. I mean, people will use photography for shamming. I mean, look at the world. Look how much money is involved with chasing down celebrities. and finding out
gosh.
where what they ate for dinner. Like, that's just creepy.
And who cares?
People do though.
Who cares? I
People
know
do.
people make
And there's money in it, so people do care.
Yeah, I know people make a tremendous amount of money, but I don't
You know, Chelsea, this is a great opportunity to take this time, since we couldn't reach our guest, is you look at the world of photography, and you look at the world of photography and money. And the way I see it, there's two worlds to photography and money. There's the hobbyist, who's going to spend overall their lifetime $30,000 or something like that on photography equipment, just over their whole lifetime. And then you have the professionals who need that kind of equipment to make their money. But then where's the money being made from photography? People are stealing images, copywriting's all over the place, and there's the worst is the social media. Like, anyone could be a photographer. And that's what they're doing at weddings now. When you go to your first wedding and they're like, "Hey, hashtag this, so we don't need a photographer."
Right.
I mean, think about that. So the money.
And as a wedding photographer, I
Well, no,
don't encourage that.
Well, I mean, this is going to sound really negative, but I enjoy photography, but I'm not going to blow $5,000 because I really care about remembering that wedding. I don't really. That's just me though, and $5,000 is a lot of money when you're putting together a wedding. And that could go towards booze, so you can forget it. I guess you do need a photographer, but no, like the opportunity as a photographer to make money today is really scarce. No one wants to be a freelance photographer. No, I mean the newer guys.
Yeah.
The guys who are already established now, of course, they want to because they get paid their name. Their name is a big name, so they get paid the big dollars. But I imagine someone who's 18 years old right now, and this is one great thing is I'm going to have one of my buddies, Ansel, call in. And he goes to school in photography in Chicago. It's a great opportunity to ask, what's the field? What are they telling you as an 18, 20-year-old what you do with photography?
I think the thing is the 18 and 20-year-olds are very naive. Because I have a lot of people that are like, I want to get into photography and it's going to be amazing. Well, it is a very flooded market. And it's very hard to make a living in photography. Not that I want to discourage people. But
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, in today's world, 30 years ago, the talent of taking a photo was a special talent. Mm-hmm. Today, anyone can buy a DSLR and be compared.
I'm not saying that, anybody can take a picture. Most people think that anybody can take a picture. And when I lived in Louisiana a few years ago, I had a good friend that she knew that I was a professional photographer. And she told me, she was like, I think that if you had the same exact equipment, you could take the same quality pictures. And I was really offended. And so I said, let's do this. So I went to her house one night, and I said, you use my camera and all my equipment. You can have any of my equipment. Take pictures of your kids. And then I'm going to use my equipment, all the same stuff, and I'm going to take pictures of your kids, and then we're going to compare. And I think the results shut her up pretty quickly because there is skill in it. But I think you're right in the fact that because there is so much good technology out there that people think that it's all the same and kind of floods it out.
The way I look at it, okay, let's look at who buys the photos now. Where do you think who buys photos today?
Advertising. I think that's where a lot of the money is.
So stockphoto.com. That's a good way to make money.
Well, I mean, if you could get into Getty Images, that would be amazing, but it's very difficult.
But that doesn't mean you're going to make money.
No, I guess not. But
so
I think I think a name means a lot because I think people that are well established.
Well, especially locally, like I think you as a personal photographer. That's the way I classify you. You're a personal photographer. Mm-hmm. I hire you because you're going to do my event. You're going to do my portraits and things like that. But then we had that really nice woman last time who did the landscape photography, the nature photography. Mm-hmm. Her images are available through. Is she in Getty Images?
No, she has her.
Own, right?
Kathy has her own stock agency.
So, like that to me, I want to see the dollars.
And she has a really good relationship with magazines. So that's not a relationship anybody can just go out and get. She works very, very hard to get that.
And then I think today's world, people aren't going to want to deal with that.
No,
I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm really excited about talking to Ansel later because I really am going to ask that. Which it's also what you go to school for. What do they tell you? Because like when I went to school, the photographers who were taking photography at that school, there's two ways. You go art photography, which is more of like a hobby type of class, because you're learning about how to shoot like pretty photos and things like that. And then you had your journalism photography, which was pretty much it's an easy concept to get. Shoot it for the newspaper. I remember they asked me to shoot some stuff for them because I just like shooting photos, so I always have my camera. And I go, yeah, I'll pick up the extra slack. This is what they asked me to go do. They were building a Wendy's out in this new development area, but that's all. There wasn't a Wendy's yet. All they had was a sign. And they just wanted me to take a picture of coming soon Wendy's. And I was like, man, there's got to be better photos. Like you could just get a stock photo of Wendy's and put it in there. But then I took a photo and it was in the paper. And I always love telling people, hey, look, I'm in the paper. And they're like, yeah, you just took a picture of a sign. I'm like, well, hey, that's a paying gig. Yeah. So I think I got paid like $3 for that or something like that. It was some ridiculous price. Like I didn't even care about the money. I was like, it was just a buddy of mine who was the chief photographer of the paper, and I was like, yeah, I'll go do that. Why not? Because I live right by it, so it's not hard to email today. So, yeah. But it's interesting to look at where the money is, and especially in like your business. You're more local. Your word of mouth and developing that reputation is huge. And plus, because at one point, I imagine it takes 15 years to get to that point. And right at that 15-year mark, you're going to start getting people calling every other day and inquiring about how much you charge and things like that. Because I imagine the world of photography today, since I'm an amateur, people would just I scoff at it. I'm like, wait, so you're going to charge $10,000 for a headshot? I'm like, what? Like, what's going on here? Yeah. So I think that's one thing that Ansel always had a hard time with because he takes beautiful photos. You can check him out, Ansel Arnold Photography on Facebook. But he really does. He even takes beautiful photos, but he had that connection problem. How do I get to people to pay for this? And because art is something you have to have a value to it. It depends on who you are, but does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. But we should take a break.
Yeah.
Let's take a break here on Aperture and Shutter Speed. We'll be back. We have Ansel Arnold going to be calling in pretty soon in about 10 minutes. He's a photographer in Chicago going to school for photography. So it's going to be interesting to talk about where photography is today, especially in the business world. You're listening to Aperture and Shutter Speed here on OurLoneStar.com.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. Don't miss our Christmas preview sale set for November the 9th from 4 to 7 p.m. Tickets are $10 each with all proceeds going to our Operation School Bell program. Call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to invite you to join me every Saturday morning right here on Lone Star Internet Radio from 8 to 9 for Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Bill Dance is a frequent guest. Larry Weissman, Mr. Whitetail, is on the show every week. We talk a lot of hunting and fishing and generally have a good time. So remember, every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Our community's animal shelters cannot absorb accidental litters of kittens and puppies. Approximately 80% of the animals entering our shelters will not make it out alive. Please help be a part of the solution. Please spay and neuter your pets. Many low-cost options are available. Visit texaslittercontrol.org to learn more. That's texaslittercontrol.org. And remember, real Texans don't litter. Please spay and neuter your pets.
Hi, this is Erica Tullis, Executive Director of the Breast Cancer Charities of America. The Breast Cancer Charities of America is a national nonprofit organization with our headquarters in the Woodlands, Texas. We focus on non-invasive breast cancer research and helping the true patient that is going through breast cancer. Through our Help Now Fund, we help women pay the rent and utilities while going through their breast cancer treatment. It's unlike any other program that truly is out there. We are here to help the woman. Our phone number is 936-231-8460. For more information or to get involved or to even make a donation, please visit our website, www.igopink.org.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. We are proud to sponsor 10 philanthropic programs that enhance the lives of those in our community. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to Aperture and Shutter Speed. We have been talking photography. I'm Chelsea Williams here with Dick Schissler. And I think we're going to talk to Ansel.
Yeah, let me give some backstory to Ansel. Ansel's been a fan of Aperture and Shutter Speed for, I could say, about a year when Tom was the host before he passed. And Ansel was a local photographer. He worked locally around the Conroe area, and he, I met him through because he was shooting a political event. He was hired to shoot a political event, get some photos, and the conversation started from there. And then he shoots mainly darkroom stuff, which is interesting from a guy his age. I believe he is 22. I think that's his age, around that age, and maybe he can confirm all this when he calls in. And he went to school. He's going to school in Chicago for photography, which is really cool. His stuff is really artsy. I'd say it's artsy fartsy, and it's great stuff. It's kind of the photos you want to see blown up,
right?
And put it on a wall. That's the kind of photos this guy takes.
Big white mats all around it, nice on the wall.
And that's Ansel, just like who you think Ansel is, how you spell it. And then Arnold. He does have a Facebook for his photography, but he also told me that he hasn't updated it because he moved towards more towards Flickr, and on his Flickr account. So I think he's going to share his Flickr account with us.
I have a Flickr account. I haven't used it in 7 years.
Well, I think that's also interesting because as a photographer, where do you put your stuff for display? Because you don't want people stealing your stuff.
But that's what Flickr was originally for. Was for photographers.
Mm-hmm. But you just don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't care. Actually, that was one of the biggest issues this weekend. Is you take photos of people who are doing stupid stuff, but they're funny photos. But they don't you better not post that to Facebook. And I'm like, well, I'll just take the beer out and put Surge cans, the soda pop. How about that? Make it real obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I bet you get a lot of that.
Oh, there's constant stuff of people don't post that or anyway.
That'd be interesting.
I think it would be fun if you started taking stuff out and putting tab or.
Yeah, you look at people anytime you get together and take a photo. It's like, oh, let me put this beer down. Let me do this. I'm doing something stupid. But you're always asking if somebody's go to a public event or there's gonna be a photographer there. You better be on your best behavior.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so are we gonna talk to Ansel?
Yeah, he's gonna call in. He said he's traveling on a train.
Oh well. We don't have time for that.
Okay.
So why do you think it's strange that he does developing? I was doing my own developing at 22.
I would say at today's age, because when you walk into a store, no one's going to try to sell you darkroom photography equipment. You literally have to probably go on eBay to get that stuff now. When it comes to, I bet a Houston Camera Exchange can help you out, but I think that's the question. You have to ask the question instead of them giving it to you. And then also, too, with the format, with the way digital works, it's like, hey, just send me a picture. And we're like, well, it's going to take me about 30 minutes to send you a picture because I have to develop and then I have to scan and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And I think you lose a lot in scanning when you take, when you have a really nice print from developing and then you scan it, I think you lose quality. But, I think it adds more value to the original print when you've done it by hand.
Yeah, and also the impact
of
the photo. But then again, this world's fast-paced, and they don't care. People don't care. Let's go to USA Today. Let's see what photos they got today. But this is the world. Where are they getting these images of Hillary Clinton? Where is it? Getty Images is basically the monopoly, and you got to get with them. And they give you credit. They go right here. They credited this person, Scott Olson, with Getty Images.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they paid for it. They might subscribe to Getty Images or something like that.
No, I think they pay their photographers, but it's also very hard to get in Getty Images. You can apply once a year. You can't apply more than that. And you have, if you've ever gone through the application process, it's pretty tight. I don't know, their requirements and stuff.
Well, I should submit myself. I'm a Twitter photographer. Let's see if I'll be the first one, I bet, and they'll allow that. But no, the world today with photography is changing. Videography is getting a little easier to get into because that's more prominent now. That's the way to tell a story, is making these vines or making that kind of advertising. Because now people are going to YouTube, more and more people are going to Hulu, and it's going to be 15-second advertising opposed to the 1 minute, 30-second, 45-second. And as a photographer, how to set up these shots and how to make a conveying image that's going to be. I mean,
well, even I've seen. I don't know what it was. I think maybe Royal Caribbean has something out right now that's like seriously 10 seconds at most of just like a little footage with their name. And I liked it, honestly, just because I'm thinking that's so much better than, I don't know, beating you over the head with it for 30 seconds. And if you do that more frequently, it's kind of that subliminal thing. But I don't know. I pay attention to ads because I do think that's where a lot of money is in photography. And I think people that work for advertising agencies spend a lot of money on stock photography. So it is interesting to look at ads.
Well, one of the business arguments is like, oh, use local photography for your business. But it's also, you can tell, like me, I can tell when it's a stock photo. Mm-hmm. And it looks really, really boring. But to me, it's not a deal breaker. But when you're doing with local stuff, you hope they have some local pictures and things like that. But we are going to have Ansel Arnold call in, Ansel Arnold Photography. We're going to take a quick break here on Aperture and Shutter Speed, and when we come back, we'll have Ansel with us, hopefully. So stick around here on Lone Star Net Radio.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Hey, this is Cindy Cochran, and now Conroe can boast of another first. The first morning live talk show, 10 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio, coming straight out of the fabulous downtown Conroe, Texas. Be the coolest guy at the water cooler, or the most informed break room dweller by listening to the fun side of the news, local, national, infinity, and beyond. The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
The East Texas Dream Center is in need of your help. We are a nonprofit Christian organization that houses women and children who are trying to get their lives back after being homeless, abused, or addicted. We are conveniently located at 301 South 1st Street, Conroe, Texas, 77301, right here in Montgomery County. Our needs are financial, and every needs of gasoline, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, Lysol, and whatever else God puts in your heart. To help our ladies and children, please consider a donation. You may visit our website at www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Again, so you don't forget, it's www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Donations are tax deductible. Remember what Jesus said, with God, nothing is impossible.
Tune in every Sunday night right here on Lone Star Internet Radio for adventure, romance, thrills, chills, and everything vintage radio drama can bring. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour comes to you every Sunday at 7 p.m. with brand new episodes monthly. Our productions always feature actors, music, and sound effects performed completely live. And now you can enjoy seeing each new episode performed on stage at the Owen Theater in Conroe. Check out www.irlonestar.com for information about upcoming episodes. Relive the glory days of vintage radio drama right here with the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
It's a wonder I can think at all.
Welcome back to Aperture and Shutter Speed. I'm Chelsea Williams here with Dick Schissler, and we've been talking photography. So listen up, and maybe we'll have some fun.
Yeah, we're supposed to have Ansel call in any second now, so hopefully he's getting off that train. He is in Chicago right now, and he's a photography student over in, I guess, in Chicago, yeah. But yeah, we're talking about photography and talking about money and how it works and how people don't value it and how it's just a horrible world to be living in.
Okay, I have a different question because, I mean, we've had a show where we talked a lot about me and how I got interested in photography. But I wanted to know, you're saying Ansel goes to school in Chicago. How did you get interested?
I myself?
Yeah.
I just liked... Actually, when I first started is because I couldn't hunt when I was with my brothers. They would shoot... I was the youngest of 4, and every time they would pass the gun, I would be the 4th one, but by the time you get to the 4th one, there's nothing to shoot. So I started picking up my camera, or my dad's camera, and started shooting stuff, and that became what I wanted to hang around with. But we do have Ansel on the line.
Okay.
And Ansel, you there?
Yes, I am.
What's up, man? We're talking about photography and how to make money with it. And
Ooh.
I just want to give you a second if you want to introduce yourself, who you are, what you're doing, and where you are right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, one second. I'm trying to plug my headphones in so I can hear you guys a little bit better. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Well, my name's Ansel. I'm going to school right now in Chicago. I'm going to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago with a focus in photography. And much of what I'm doing, especially right now, is I'm not sure it can relate too much to making money with photography. So I don't know who's going to want to really buy what I'm doing, but mostly what I'm doing is making art books right now with using photos, with using, scanned objects and things like that. A little bit of writing. I'm also a little bit into creative writing. But a big focus of mine right now is making photo art books, pretty much. So that's what I've been spending a good amount of time on. I've done one already that I've completed and happy with. So really just working on the next thing right now.
Now, with school, are you walking to school right now?
Yeah, I'm walking to school. I'm going to hang out in the park for a little bit and talk. So, I'm in the downtown area.
Okay. No, see,
you guys can't tell.
The question I have too, because when you're going to school, what are the professors telling you about photography and the world to expect? Because I know when people who are going to school, they're kind of like, oh, hey, the job market sucks, stay in school and all that kind of thing. But are they telling you anything about what's the hottest world for photography right now? Where's the money being made, or is it just kind of like do your own thing?
Yeah, that's like a really good question, actually. And I mean, that's like something that really gets brought up a lot in photo forums. If you ever frequent photo forums and you see, people just getting into photography saying, I really enjoy this. Should I go to school for it, to make money off it or something like that? And really the way it works at my school is the professors that we have are all working artists themselves. And by working artists, I mean they have shows in galleries pretty often, somewhat often. They have like a published, they have a good record of published work that's been shown in the fine art market. And so it's really not brought up too much as far as like commercial photography goes, or really the market for photography. It's on one hand, they want you to do what you want to do and to be happy with what you want to do. But I think a big push for the photographers going to our school is really to, I guess, learn how to be artists. And so instead of shooting for jobs maybe in, a fashion photo department, although I know that, students in my school get to, pursue those kinds of things. It's more, I think they want to push you to be in artist residencies where, an art gallery or something will pay you to show your work there, or will support you to make your work so you don't have to get a job and things like that. So that's actually kind of the direction that they really push you more into. And I definitely think, you don't need to go to school to learn photography at all. No way. Or even art, for that matter. But really, it's the place that I'm in. It's really about, I guess teaching you how to, pursue those artistic endeavors, and really try and make it that way, I guess.
I know that when I got my photography degree, that's really what it was. It was all about art and finding your own personal art style, and they really didn't talk about how to make it into a business or how to make money out of it. It was just all about developing your style. So I know a lot of people, when they graduated, kind of were like, well, what do we do now? And a lot of the professors were like, move to New York and hope for the best.
Yeah, if only.
Right?
Yeah. And I think, I think a lot of people maybe don't, I think the important thing is to realize, what you're going to really have to do. And if you want to start your business, or you want to do something like that, realizing that early on and knowing that that's what you're wanting to shoot for, and then, kind of figuring out what you need to go to school for on that end. Is it photography, or is it business, or, is it finances, et cetera, so.
Right. Because I had a lot of people recommend to me, when I was researching kind of what school I wanted to go to and different stuff, I had a lot of photographers recommend to get a journalism degree, but I was so terrible in English that didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
But,
well, today I would say photojournalism is probably the easiest way to get into photography as a paid position, even though you might not get paid frequently. I mean, I think if I could do it all over again, I would totally join the United States Navy, Army, something with the focus on photography, because they would bring you probably the most experience shipping you around, and you get to see stuff on someone else's dollar almost, and you get to get some really good photos. You might not get to keep any of the photos you take, but it's still that opportunity, and especially when you're published through that.
Yeah.
But but the art stuff, man, that's just something. There's a movie coming out. It's funny, Ansel, I was thinking about you when I saw this. This movie is called Life, and it's about Dennis Stock. And Dennis Stock is the photographer, the guy. He basically, his famous image was that one of James Dean walking through the streets of New York. I think it was smoking a cigarette, and it's about his life being friends. Because actually, they were good friends, him and James Dean, Dennis Stock. And it's about there's a lot of quotes from the movie about photography and about how to shoot these kind of things. And it's going to be an interesting movie. I think it's one of those independent movies that might show a little truth behind photography. Because Dennis Stock is a pretty interesting guy, and he just kind of went with it. He worked for Life magazine. I think a lot of people don't realize that style of photography kind of disappeared, where you work for an agency, and now it's really everyone's just independent, and they just submit their stuff to Getty or AP or whatever and just hope for the best. But
yeah, totally.
So what I want to see is Angel shooting nude photography, I'm pretty sure, on the upcoming show he's going to have in Chicago, right?
I'm sorry?
Nothing. Not even Chelsea reacted to that. You guys are falling asleep on me. I was making a bad joke. So we only got a couple more minutes with you, Ansel. Where can I go to check you out and online? You saw Ansel Arnold Photography on Facebook. Where's your new stuff? Where can I see these booklets you're working on?
Yeah, there's that. You can see those on Flickr. They're on, go to flickr.com/photos/Ansel Arnold. You can see some of the new stuff I'm working on. It's pretty rough shape right now. I literally just uploaded it last night. It's not all of what I'm doing, but I think it's a good idea of what I got going on. So
okay. I have a really
feel free
cheesy.
to check that out.
I have a really cheesy question for you. With a name like Ansel, did your parents plan for you to be a photographer? I mean,
no.
That wasn't destined in any way.
I hope not. No, it's strange. I've actually thought about that a lot. My family is artistic on a lot of levels, even though they don't want to admit it, I think. And really what it was my dad is very big into backpacking, very big in the outdoors, and he kind of grew up backpacking in the Sierras, as I did too. So that's where the name came from, and then the art kind of, the photography kind of came afterwards, where I started getting more into art, and I wasn't very good at any other kind of art, and then I just started taking photos and enjoyed that the most. So
that's great. If you're not good at any other kind of art, just try photography. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way though. I can't draw. I'm really horrible at every other kind of art, but I love photography.
Yeah, I feel you.
Well, Ansel, man, thank you so much for calling in and taking time. Have fun in class, and hopefully we hear more about you. That's right. He's on Flickr. It's FLICKR.com. You can just type in Ansel Arnold, and you can find him right there. He has several albums up, and he also has one example of a photo book he did. So you can check that out, too. It's Ansel Arnold Photography right there. Ansel, thank you so much for calling in, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, you guys. Talk to you guys later.
Awesome.
So,
well, I think it's interesting talking to somebody going through school now, because I don't think it's much different than when I went to school, and the teachers just try to teach you art and really don't prepare you for the real world in any way. But it is fun. Like, I don't regret getting a photography degree at all. Like, I really enjoyed doing it. I learned a lot of fun processes and a lot of alternative processes I wouldn't have learned any other way. So, yeah, if you really care about it as art, it's a fun thing to do.
It is. It is. So what's going on for our next show? Because we'll be wrapping this up.
Okay, on our next show, we are going to have Allison Petrie, who is the president of the Woodlands Photography Club. So that will be November 7th at 12 p.m.
Okay, so if you have questions and stuff, make sure to check us out on Facebook. Message us on Facebook with your questions. And that's Aperture and Shutter Speed. Is it the first and third, or is it second and fourth? Which one is it?
Oh, it's the second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 12 o'clock.
Here on Lone Star Internet Radio. We have archives available, so keep an eye out. So we're going to be here, like I said, like Chelsea said, next month. And we look forward to shooting some fall photos and all that good stuff. And you should stick around. The Woodlands, is it Woodlands Camera Club, right?
Woodlands Photography Club.
There you go.
The president of the Woodlands
President. I can't believe it. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Ansel Arnold, a special thank you for you calling in. And check him out on Flickr. And good luck at school if you're listening by any chance. And we'll be back here on Aperture and Shutter Speed next month, right?
Yep, November 10th.
See ya.